Mr. Justice Ivor Archie, Chief Justice of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, host of the conference. Sir Mr. Justice Ian Winder, Chief Justice of Bahamas. Sir Mr. Justice Patterson Cheltenham, Chief Justice of Barbados. Madam Justice Louise Blenman, Chief Justice of Belize. Madam Justice Margaret Ramsey Hale, Chief Justice of the Cayman Islands. Dame Madam Justice Janice Pereira, Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Court. Madam Justice Yonette Cummings Edwards, Chancellor of the Supreme Court of Guyana. Mr. Justice Brian Skiggs, Chief Justice of Jamaica. Mr. Justice Adrian Saunders, President of the Caribbean Court of Justice. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have your seats. The Honorable Mr. Justice Ivor Archie, Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Chief Justice of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Your Lordships and Ladyships, the other Chief Justices and Head of Judiciaries of the Caribbean. Senator, the Honorable Reginald Amor, SC, Attorney General, representatives of diplomatic missions, the Honorable Mr. Justice Adrian Saunders, President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, judges, masters, judicial officers of the Supreme Court of Trinidad and Tobago, distinguished conference presenters, representatives of the legal fraternity, the justice sector, and senior government officials, representatives of the court administration of the judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago, representatives of the media, ladies and gentlemen, both in person at the Convocation Hall and those following virtually, good evening. My name is Andrea Peters Chandler, and it gives me great pleasure to extend a warm welcome to you all to the Convocation Hall at the Hall of Justice as we gather for the opening ceremony of the Conference of Chief Justices and Heads of Judiciaries of the Caribbean. At this time, it is my pleasure to invite the Honorable Madam Justice Charmaine Pemberton, Justice of Appeal, to deliver welcome remarks.
Good evening. Good evening, all. Please allow me to adopt the protocol list as established. It is my task this evening to bring you welcoming remarks on behalf of the Honorable the Chief Justice of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Justice Ivor Archie. I observe that your program is packed with important topics to you as Chief Justices and heads of judiciary, and by extension to us in the region as judicial officers. I know that one of the topics under discussion would be that of artificial intelligence, and I am sure that that will keep you very, very, very occupied, busy, and enthralled as you listen to those presentations and as you try to see how artificial intelligence impacts on the workings of our judiciaries, whether for good or for bad. Meetings of this nature are important for us in the region to maintain our identity as leaders in cutting-edge jurisprudence, especially with respect to peacekeeping and dispute settlement, which seem to have been having a difficult international presence as I speak. My remarks are going to be very short because, as I said, you have a quite a packed program from tomorrow, and I don't want to keep you here unduly. So again, I welcome you and hope that you have a meaningful experience in the co-creation of knowledge, and as you continue your commitment in enhancing the noteworthy contributions we in the Caribbean have made to world legal knowledge, thought, and practice. I welcome you.
Thank you, Justice Pemberton. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the podium Senator the Honorable Reginald Amor SC, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs of Trinidad and Tobago, to bring his remarks.
Good evening, all. Honorable Chief Justice, Honorable Chief Justices, heads of judiciary, President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, all other distinguished guests, permit me as my first remark to breach the protocols because the Master of Ceremonies in our announcement says turn off all your cell phones, but regrettably I have to keep mine on. It is my pleasure today to deliver these brief remarks on the theme, moving beyond the familiar, creating a judiciary for the modern world, at this significant opening ceremony of the Conference of Chief Justices and Heads of Judiciary of the Caribbean. I commend the judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago for spearheading this event. I am honored to share some insights on crucial matters that are shaping the regional landscape of our regional legal systems, with particular emphasis on the topics of artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, judicial education, and enhanced regional cooperation. I applaud the exceptional efforts of the Trinidad and Tobago judiciary under the leadership of Chief Justice Ivor Archie, Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, in consistently enhancing the delivery and efficiency of its services through the use of technology. Our Trinidad and Tobago judiciary has consistently led stakeholders in the adoption of modern technology through its dynamic processes, changes evidenced, for example, in 2019, when the judiciary rolled out its new electronic court management suite, which included successful implementation of a number of innovations: e-probate, court pay, court mail, various e-services such as digital voice transcription, audio-digital recording system, and synchronized annotation software, e-services portal to facilitate e-filing and e-payments. The judiciary's introduction of these electronic systems is highly commendable. It is testament to its unwavering commitment to efficiency and accessibility of justice systems. The government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago is pleased to provide continued funding and support for these initiatives, which only serve to strengthen and improve the functioning of our legal system and contribute to its adaptability in a modern world. Artificial intelligence. In an era defined by rapid technological advances, our legal systems must evolve to meet the challenges posed by artificial intelligence. AI, as we come to refer to it, has the potential to enhance the efficiency of our judiciary, streamline legal processes, and contribute to provision of swift and fair justice. As we embrace AI, it is imperative that we approach the integration of AI into the judiciary with meticulous consideration for ethical and privacy concerns. Striking the delicate balance between technological advancement and safeguarding individual rights is essential to instill and maintain public trust in our legal system. This nuanced approach ensures that as we embrace the transformative potential of AI, we do so responsibly, upholding the fundamental principles of justice, fairness, and equity that underpin our legal institutions. In June of this year, I had the privileged opportunity to participate in the second regional conference for the exchange of experiences towards an inclusive and sustainable digital justice, held in Spain, together with the Honorable Chief Justice of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Mr. Justice Ivor Archie, and our respective teams. This conference consisted of a vigorous week of workshops, discussions, and visits to the main institutions leading the digital transformation of justice in Spain. The conference underscored that an accessible and efficient public justice service ensures rights and freedoms, promotes economic development, inclusive growth, and a sustainable investment climate. It also emphasized that the digital transformation of the court system must be accompanied by a good record management system developed in digital format, as well as the interoperability of administrative records in electronic format. On this note, the significant efforts by the judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago towards digitization and digital case management must be applauded. The judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago, prompted by the global constrictions of the COVID-19 pandemic, has taken the foremost leadership role in guiding the rest of our local criminal justice sector through the transition from the traditional in-person, paper-based system to fully virtual and electronic platforms. This has extended to the introduction of the use of the CaseLine software in the criminal division, which allows for digitalized evidence management and case presentation, and has revolutionized the way in which both prosecuting and defense counsel prepare and present their cases, and the way in which the court and the judiciary receive the evidence. It is also the plan of this government, in collaboration with the judiciary, to complete this transition with the proclamation of the Administration of Justice Indictable Proceedings Act, or AJIPA, as we call it, which is the act to abolish preliminary inquiries and introduce a document-based pretrial assessment. Under this new system, the obligatory use of CaseLine system is envisaged. As we can see, Trinidad and Tobago is well on its way to responsibly harnessing the benefits of AI through enhancing the efficiency of our judiciary and streamlining legal processes. Cybersecurity. This modern era of technological advancements and progression has brought its many advantages and benefits, such as the enhanced efficiency of government and improved ease of doing business. The potential benefit that technology brings to institutions cannot be overstated, as all governments, judiciaries, and other state organizations move toward more interconnected digital systems and data repositories. In equal measure, it has become necessary to acknowledge the complexities and potential drawbacks that this has brought in the realm of threats to cybersecurity frameworks, potentially exposing sensitive data, protected information, and other vulnerabilities. Just this year, threats to cybersecurity frameworks across different government organizations and private institutions within Trinidad and Tobago have materialized. This has brought to the forefront of our consideration the need for enhanced and improved cybersecurity measures. The increasing complexity of cybercriminals has signaled the need for proactive and evolved responses by our cyber professionals, as what we are witnessing is effectively a cybersecurity arms race. As many are aware, my ministry faced a forced shutdown of internal network operations, inclusive of emails, file access, and online connectivity due to a cyber breach. This impacted on various departments of the Ministry of the Attorney General and Legal Affairs, the Chief State Solicitor's Department, the Solicitor General's Department, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and other administrative functions. This cyber breach not only disrupted internal workflows and productivity, but also posed a significant challenge to our capacity to maintain uninterrupted public service delivery. A team of international and local experts was formed to address the situation, including the Ministry of Digital Transformation of the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and specialized agencies from the Ministry of National Security. The team also included the International Development Bank and its cyber defense function, and the IDB also used local companies Precision Cyber and MBC. A structured, phased approach was executed, including the following: detection and identification, containment and mitigation, isolation of affected systems, quarantine and segmentation, re-imaging and hardening, patching and vulnerability remediation, credential resets, endpoint restoration. None of our data was lost. 95% of our data was recovered, and all cybersecurity systems were reinforced to prevent future breaches. This is but one illustration of our need in our capacity as administrators to be sensitive and agile to the realities of the cybersecurity environment. Judicial education. Continuing education is the cornerstone of any progressive legal system, and judicial education for a progressive judiciary is paramount. As we navigate the complexity of the modern world, it is crucial that our judges and legal professionals are equipped with the knowledge and skills required to handle matters involving emerging technologies. Continuous learning programs, workshops, and collaborations with educational institutions can empower our judiciary to interpret and apply the law in the context of our rapidly evolving technological landscapes. I commend the judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago for the establishment and continuing robust development of its Judicial Education Institute of Trinidad and Tobago, which delivers training and development programs to judges and other judicial officers in order to promote excellence in the administration of justice. Through the stalwart leadership of its current chairperson, the Honorable Justice of Appeal Gillian Luckey, I am confident that the Judicial Education Institute of Trinidad and Tobago will continue to build and keep the judiciary au courant with current developments in the law and technological developments. The Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago continues to support the JEITT in its continued strides to improve the functioning and competency of our judiciary. Furthermore, within the confined context of judicial education, my government regularly collaborates with the judiciary in order to promote mass sensitization of criminal justice actors on a variety of legislative and procedural changes in the improvement of the administration of justice. Significant stakeholder education has occurred in the areas of enhancing the use of plea agreements, for example. Further, within the very near future, a nationwide public sensitization program between my office and the judiciary is planned prior to the proclamation of a JIPA. These are the types of initiatives which aid in driving proactive change management, resilience, and growth. In the dynamic environment which makes up the judicial landscape of our respective nations, I encourage all of you here this evening to embrace judicial education as a tool which will empower your stakeholders and ultimately strengthen your justice systems. Enhanced regional cooperation. As I advocate for leveraging judicial education to empower stakeholders and fortify justice systems, I commend the recently concluded 7th Biennial Conference hosted by the Caribbean Court of Justice Academy for Law, which has further underscored the importance that in navigating this evolving terrain, our national and regional institutions cannot operate in silos. There must be close coordination amongst all relevant justice stakeholders in order to streamline our legal processes. As such, enhanced regional cooperation is pivotal to addressing the transnational challenges that confront our legal systems. By fostering strong partnerships with neighboring Caribbean jurisdictions, we can share best practices, pool resources, and collectively tackle issues such as cross-border cybercrime. Through collaboration, we can create a more robust and adaptable judiciary that serves the interests of our interconnected societies. Indeed, I take this opportunity to emphasize once again the need for all Caribbean countries to endorse and fully sign on to the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final appellate court, reaffirming our confidence in ourselves as a people and in our destiny. As I close, it is crucial to highlight that the strides outlined in this evening's engagement and what you are engaging on for the next couple of days underscore a steadfast commitment to constructing a judiciary fit for the demands of a public modern world. This not only enhances and embraces technologies, but prioritizes continuous learning, fortifies cybersecurity, and actively engages in regional collaboration. As we transcend the familiar, these initiatives should be viewed as guiding beacons, steering the legal systems of the Caribbean towards a future marked by heightened efficiency, adaptability, and justice for all. Moreover, the integration of artificial intelligence into the judiciary holds significant promise, especially in addressing contemporary challenges, notably those arising from cybersecurity threats. The incorporation of AI technology has the potential not only to enhance the efficiency and accuracy of legal processes, but also to fortify the overall security of our judicial system. Lastly, I look forward to the rich and constructive dialogues which will unfold over the next few days of this conference. I am optimistic that the collective wisdom and diverse experiences shared during these discussions will pave the way for innovative solutions and collaborative initiatives. Let us actively seek out actionable takeaways that can propel our legal systems into a future where they not only meet the demands of a rapidly evolving world, but also lead with resilience and foresight. May this conference be a catalyst for positive change, fostering a legal landscape in the Caribbean that is not only technologically advanced and secure, but above all, just and equitable for all of our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney General Amor. We will now receive a musical item entitled Unity from the group Quite Exquisitely Done TT, better known as QED TT.
Time to begin. Make up your minds to climb the hill. It's reconstruction time in our land, so put your shoulders to the wheel, my lad. Move on, don't stop till you reach the top. You put a hand and I put a hand, and we will see, for big and for small, in no time at all, prosperity. There's no other way to do it. Show your patriotic spirit. Unity! Somehow, if the region ever needed you, is now. People, one and all, hear my plea, answer my call. The peace and happiness we had before was lost with everybody fighting war. Let's hope that done as we move on, onward and upward. You put a hand and I'll put a hand and we will see. For big and for small, in no time at all, prosperity. There's no other way to do it. Show your patriotic spirit, unity. Somehow, if the region never needed you, it's now. My lordships, my ladyships, feel free to clap your hands, you know. This is our song. Forget political policies and political ties. Rebuild your country before the good name dies. If everyone would learn to play their part, that is enough to make a useful start. Soon we'll have had a better region. You put a hand and I put a hand and we will see. For big and for small, in no time at all, prosperity. There's no other way to do it. Show your patriotic spirit, unity. Somehow, if the region never needed you, it's now. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like you all to sing along with us. So let's start with clapping the hands again, okay? I think we can make a little noise. Do we have your permission? Yes? Sing with us now, sing with us. You put her, and I'll put her, and for in prosperity. There's no other way to do it. Show your patriotic spirit, unity. Somehow, if the region ever needed you, it's now. We can go again. You put her, and I'll put her, and sing a little louder. For big and for in what? There's no other way to show your everybody unity. Somehow, if the region ever needed you, it's now. I like that group up in the back, you know. You put a hand and we will see. For in what? There's no other. Show your unity. Somehow, if the region ever needed you, is now. My lordships, my ladyships, thank you so much.
Thank you, QED, for that engaging and moving performance, which undoubtedly the lyrical content was most appropriate for the occasion. It is now my distinct honor to invite Mr. Justice Ivor Archie, ORTT, Justice of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, to deliver his remarks.
Thank you, Andrea, and good evening, everyone. And you will note that these are remarks. This is not a speech. In any event, I think I've had my thunder quite effectively stolen by the Honorable Attorney General. I think he was looking over my shoulder when I'm sure you'll forgive me if I adopt the protocols that have been established, but of course, it is incumbent on me to acknowledge my fellow Chief Justices and the President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, as well as the Honorable Attorney General, who has given us that very comprehensive address, which I think has already given us insights into what is going to take place over the next 2 days. I am, of course, delighted to host my counterparts from the region, including the learned President. This gathering usually takes place annually but we were interrupted by the pandemic. And happily, we resumed last year, and there is every intention to keep it going as a permanent fixture on our calendar. Some of you may be asking, why is there a need for this conference, that is, heads of judiciaries? Well, all of our judiciaries exist in a rapidly evolving legal, social, and technological environment. And as I interact with colleagues internationally, it is clear that we all face similar challenges. Despite the problematic legacies it has left, one of the advantages of our shared colonial legacy is that we have a similar understanding of the common law and its utility and adaptability in solving novel problems that confront us. We also operate in comparable constitutional ecosystems that recognize basic concepts like the rule of law, the separation of powers, and the independence of the judiciary. It therefore makes perfect sense to leverage our collective experience and offer mutual support as we navigate the new reality. In a globalized world, the challenges of transnational crime, climate change, and artificial intelligence, to name a few, look no different in Belize than in Guyana or the Cayman Islands. What we do know is that we cannot ignore them. We must therefore reinvent ourselves. It is true that there are conferences all over the Commonwealth every year that speak to some of these issues that we are gathered to contemplate. But those who head judiciaries share a unique perspective that only comes from sitting in the chair. There are some discussions that do require a close, private, and confidential atmosphere to be fruitful. As you would have seen, the theme of this year's conference, Moving Beyond the Familiar, Creating a Judiciary for the Modern World, is most timely and appropriate. The changes to our external environment are not merely in size, but also in species. And so we have to rethink our structure and the ways in which we operate if we are to remain competent and relevant. In that regard, we will be focusing on 4 main topical areas during our discussions. Firstly, what is the role of artificial intelligence in protecting the integrity of evidence and the science of judging? And do our laws need changing to meet the new reality of how communication and decision-making takes place in real life? And what does it mean for document processing and review, for research, for customer interface, and case flow management in general? Second, as we have heard, is the issue of cybersecurity. In recent weeks and months, in this jurisdiction, we have heard of system breaches in public and private institutions. We in the judiciary were targeted at the same time by some of the same actors. Thankfully, our hypervigilance allowed us to detect and contain intrusion at the point of attempted penetration. But we can't just pat ourselves on the back and be complacent. This is the new reality, and hackers are always adapting. So must we. Judiciaries hold extremely sensitive information about and belonging to customers, litigants, and even jurors. What is best practice? What are the appropriate levels of encryption? These and other questions will be considered as we search for urgently needed solutions. It is difficult for heads of judiciaries to meet and not talk about judicial independence. The need for judges to be impartial and not influenced by political or other extrinsic pressures is generally accepted. What concerns us as heads who have overall administrative responsibility for the judicial branch is the knowledge that the environment for decision-making without fear or favor cannot exist in the absence of appropriate institutional arrangements to protect the public from the effects of direct or indirect abuses of power. As a region, we can set the example for best practice in relation to those administrative and financial arrangements for judiciaries and for our relationships with the other arms of the state. I'm not alleging any current threat, but we must guard the future. We believe that there is value in engaging with our executives from a platform of consensus, and so we hope to achieve a convergence of thought on best practices. We will explore practical ways to add flesh to the skeleton of the Latimer House guidelines in a way that is workable in 2023 and for some time to come. And finally, whether explicitly articulated in our rules of court or not, we all subscribe to the overriding objective of ensuring that cases are dealt with justly. That requires equitable as opposed to identical treatment of litigants and other court users. Our front-facing and internal court operations and processes must make provision for self-represented litigants as well as participants who require special arrangements or are particularly vulnerable. We will be looking at the SAFE project that I talked about at the commemoration of the opening of the law term. By now you must be saying, aren't they going to talk about law? Don't worry, that is covered. One of the things that concerns many of us is that the development of a truly indigenous jurisprudence that is grounded in our history, culture, and mores has eluded us in part because of the suffocating effect of the various savings clauses in our constitutions. And by the way, they are not all the same, the constitutions. Articulating the content of the guaranteed fundamental rights and freedoms is a challenge that will always be ripe for debate as we negotiate the path to substantive justice while respecting the values of our societies. That is not an exhaustive description of our agenda, but as you can see, we have a lot of work to do over the next 2 days. It will not just be the judges talking to each other. We have academics, clinical practitioners, IT and court administration subject matter experts, and e-learning specialists to help guide us through our deliberations. It promises to be a fruitful and engaging discourse. In that regard, I would like to express my gratitude to the National Center for State Courts, which once more has come through for us in helping to source faculty. But equal praise is due to our in-house team of experts and our local presenters. And I want to acknowledge, if they are here, in particular, Professor Jared Hutchinson and our St. Augustine campus principal, Professor Rosemary Bell-Antoine. But beyond all that I've said, I particularly look forward to a time of fellowship with my counterparts. Being a Chief Justice or Head of Judiciary is a lonely job that can only be fully appreciated from a comparable vantage point. The bonds of friendship and trust that we develop enable us to share knowledge and resources freely and provide mutual support. These are invaluable and necessary if we are to move in line with the objective of our people to the realization of a unified Caribbean community. To my brothers and sisters from the region, therefore, I bid you welcome on behalf of the judiciary and people of Trinidad and Tobago. As we say locally, mi casa es su casa. We will do our best to make your stay both productive and memorable. I would like finally to thank all of the judiciary staff who have worked so tirelessly to bring this conference together and for their continued support over the next few days. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you again, both for your presence and for your attention. May God bless you, and I wish us all a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Justice. As we bring this evening's ceremony to a close, I invite QED-TT to the stage once more for a sizzling musical item entitled Siamanda.
your lordships, your ladyships, ladies and gentlemen, once again we invite you to put your hands together and sing along. Let's go! Sayamanda, Sayamanda, ring the bell. Sayamanda, 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 ring the bell. Hey, chain of freedom across the world. Give them children a hand to hold. Like a rainbow come to light. Let them sunshine, bold and bright. From pole to pole and corner to corner, hold on, hold on. Behind the bridge and across the border, hold on. Chain of colors, rhythm and music, yeah. Soul connection, chain of love. Sayamanda, 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 ring the bell. Sayamanda, 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 ring the bell. California, to Philadelphia, sweet soul music down Louisiana. We don't. Tell your mama, tell your papa, sweet soul music down Louisiana. From pole to pole and corner to corner, hold on. Behind the bridge and across the border, hold on. Chain of colors, rhythm and music, yeah. Soul connection, chain of love. Sayamanda, 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 ring bell. Sayamanda, 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 ring bell. Let's clap those hands. Now we have something that we want you to sing. I don't want to hear everyone singing. Chief, you know this one, right? So here we go. Sing after me. Sayaman, Sayamanda, Sayaman, Sayamanda, Sayaman, Sayamanda. Hey, let me hear you. Sayaman, Sayamanda. Sayaman, Sayamanda. Sayaman, Sayamanda. Hey. Oh, from pole to pole and corner to corner, hold on. Behind the bridge and across the border, hold on. Chain of colors, rhythm and music, yeah. Soul connection, chain of love. Sayamanda, 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 ring bell. Sayamanda, 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 ring bell.
I did say it was going to be a sizzling musical item, and they did in fact do it justice, no pun intended. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your presence here this evening and the contribution that it has made to the launch of discussions of the Chief Justices and Heads of Judiciaries of the Caribbean from the 15th to the 18th of November 2023. We are now all invited at this time to the second part of this evening's event, which continues on level 1, and the ushers will guide us to that event. We thank you for joining us this evening, and we wish you Godspeed on your journey home. I now invite you to stand for the departure of the Chief Justices and Heads of Judiciaries, following which you may also depart. We will be starting with the first row in the middle area, followed in order.